We're back with our impossible challenge of getting Zot a bronze ADC all the way to diamond in just 90 days.
Oh my god.
Last episode, Hector taught Zot the secret to climbing: speed. Stop hesitating, clear waves faster, and always be posturing towards your next play. And let me tell you, these lessons hit different. Zot went nuclear. In his last 10 games, he had 9 wins and just a single loss. He was absolutely smurfing. And that bronze ADC we saw 2 months ago that couldn't even kite or flash over a wall to save his life, well, he was now somehow sitting at Emerald 1 65 LP. 2 wins from Diamond. But then, the nerves started to kick in.
Man, this is like, if I win this, I'm 1 game away from Diamond. And I'm so nervous for some reason. Wow. And my guy gets first blood. So, as I was saying how nervous I am, my lane opponent gets first blood. Pretty good, yeah. Not bad, not bad. I'm gonna choke. Choke I shall. No. Deep breath. Lock in. I got this.
Nothing messes with your head quite like seeing the borders of the rank you want on the enemy team during the loading screen. Couple this with the pressure of the challenge, and Zot's ranked anxiety was about to peak. And just like he feared, he choked and tanked a hook immediately from Thresh.
Oh god, this about as bad as it possibly could go.
Whatever, it happens. But then, right after, Zot dies to the level 2 all-in, being too slow to react to the flash from Thresh. Just 2 minutes into the game, and these Diamond players were already picking him apart.
How could it go so bad?
However, Zot knows from his lessons that even when things couldn't look worse, you're always just 1 to 2 throws away from coming back, even if you do somehow let a flashless Samira get away. But even then, Zot isn't one to give up, and turns a Nocturne gank into a double kill, picking up Samira's shutdown. Unfortunately though, Nocturne has other plans, saving Samira and Thresh as Zot was about to run them down.
Oh, this is so troll.
But Gragas, like so many players when things don't go their way, has already tilted.
Now he's gonna go and like grief my lane, watch. I hate all supports, actually.
He pushes the wave, perma-roams, and leaves Zot stranded. So Zot does what a smart player does. He plays safe, respects the dives, and picks up what CS he can. No ego, no tilt, just discipline. Sometimes, that's the only way to stay in the game. And just like we talked about in episode 3, when lane's doomed, let the turret fall and end lane phase fast. Even in Diamond now, the average player's macro is still trash. And while everyone's coin-flipping fights, Zot's chilling, farming waves, and waiting for mistakes. A few minutes later, he's back in the game at 3 items, enabling him to hold the enemy push. They then overstay, and Zot's team trades 4 for 1. From bronze to diamond, Zot's entire journey has led to this moment. He got stomped in lane, flamed in chat, and left alone. But he kept calm and trusted his lessons. Then, it happened. Nocturne ults onto Wukong as they're pushing mid. Zot doesn't panic. He kites back and waits, then he sees it. Mundo is somehow still alive, so he turns.
Nice!
Just like that, Zot was 1 win away from Diamond. And for that final game, Hector had a brilliant idea. Why not do it as an earpiece? Sounds good in theory. I mean, having a challenger literally guide your every move should make things easier, right? Well, if you've been following the series on the site, you know it never quite goes that smoothly. Zot and Hector have done 13 of these now. Wanna guess how many wins? 4. It's not that Hector gives bad advice. He's challenger after all. It's just that telling a player with Zot's mechanics what to do is very different from them being able to actually do it. But that's the point of the series. It's just real coaching, real mistakes, and somehow real progress. And honestly, these earpieces have become one of the most loved tools by players climbing alongside Zot. Between those, the VOD reviews, and all the in-depth lessons, it's like learning in real time, without having to make the mistakes yourself. And best of all, if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while using our service, you get your money back, no questions asked. So check the link in the description below for an exclusive discount and start your climb today. But anyways, if Zot thought he was nervous last game, this game was only going to be worse.
This also means I'm so nervous for some reason.
Well,
my hands are sweaty, so I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna troll. I can barely speak, I'm that nervous. Because it's like a must-win game. I must win this to get Diamond. I must.
I need to troll you.
But despite what Hector said, it's going to be Zot doing the trolling this game. And in typical fashion, Zot walks up and loses half his health for a single minion at level 1.
Okay, you need to relax, buddy.
But everything's fine. After chugging his potion and avoiding damage, Zot regains enough health to look for an all-in.
Okay, you have enough HP for an all-in. Just wait for it. Okay. There it is. Careful. Never mind. Nice.
And from here, things were going unusually well, until Hector called out Nami roaming and Zot and Lux went for a dive.
If you see Nami's outline, you guys dive this guy. Yeah, she's there. Thing to dive.
Oh my god.
Okay, you're both. just stop.
This is true.
Okay, and for Zot's sake, we're going to pretend we didn't see that. Cue take 2.
Okay, you guys can do it again. Nice.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die because it's hurt. Oh my god.
Oh, I wanted that so bad.
Shut up.
It was by no means clean, but hey, they pulled it off. And the domination didn't stop there. Zot heads back, takes down the Jhin once again, pushes the wave, and then looks for a play on the Nami.
Could maybe cut this guy off. Hug
Yeah,
vision
I
here.
was thinking it.
Oh, nice.
Oh god. Okay, I must make this! Oh my god, I did it!
Oh.
Oh, he followed me.
No.
Even flashing over the wall that's plagued him since day one.
I did the flash.
It's the easiest flash of
Shut
all
up,
time.
is
What are
it? Shut
you
up, is
talking about?
it? Shut up, is it?
Everything was playing out perfectly. Zot even turned around to Hecarim gank when he got back to lane. He was actually doing it. The score was 14-4 and it looked like a done deal until this happened.
Ew. Ew.
Ah!
Ew. 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 Ew.
Oh no! Oh no! What's that?
Yep, that's a 1 win from Diamond player, folks. Honestly, if that doesn't prove our lessons work, I don't know what does. And from there, it only got worse. Zot gets picked off by a Hecarim gank trying to bait for Azir. Then, again, overreaching for mid-prio. What was once a 14-4 stomp and a free ticket to Diamond was starting to unravel. Even after sneaking a Baron, hope was fading fast. Even despite Zot doing everything he can to create pressure.
Yeah, I don't like this. I'm
Yeah, W over. Yes. Out. 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 Out.
I'm just gonna hang around. Oh,
Maybe help a bit, but
yeah, we
Oh.
just get up.
One by one, his teammates were getting picked like a nose. But despite it all, everything led to this moment. One final team fight breaking out in the jungle. Win, and Zot, Hector, and their team marched down mid, securing Diamond, completing the challenge, and saving Hector from those hungry sharks. But lose? Well, losing wasn't an option.
get pressure in lane.
Oh my god, I didn't mean to W.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bad.
What's with your mechanics this game?
I just accidentally W'd.
Oh, yes. Oh, God.
No, we actually just lose.
And just like that, the dream slipped through their fingers. Still, Zot, ever the optimist, did what he always does. He laughed it off and queued up again. But what followed wasn't redemption, it was collapse. Loss after loss, each game, another step back. Until finally, Emerald 2-0 LP. Right back where he started. Only this time, it didn't just hurt, it broke him. Zot was done, tired of losing lane.
No.
Tired of getting flamed by his supports, and deep down, he knew the truth. If he wanted to climb, and if he wanted his confidence back, something had to change. And it was time to fix what he was weakest at, his early laning, and fast.
I have a small regret about how I taught Zot how to lane. Basically, he learned the disciplined way of winning, play based on your 2v2 win condition, item quality and economy, blah 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 blah. And this does work. He was basically a diamond player before, well, he did that. But the problem is that the disciplined way of winning is really boring. I firmly believe you cannot play your best unless you're genuinely having fun in League. And the most enjoyable part of the game for most people is when you dumpster someone in lane. When you can ego on someone in all chat, there's literally no better feeling. But for every laning phase, Zot has just been patiently waiting for the right moment and doing nothing else. He's not getting those big outplay dopamine hits, and I think that's partly why he tilts so hard when he loses and goes on a massive tilt spree. So it is a little late, but let's talk about how to dominate lane so he can actually have some fun.
During lane phase, Zot, like many players, locks in on one thing, the enemy minions. He tracks their health bar, waits for them to drop low, then moves in for the last hit. Right now, that's all his mental stack can handle, and last hitting requires the bulk of his focus. But here's the thing, if you want to actually improve at laning, one of the strongest and most reliable trading concepts is punishing last hits. Yeah, it's a concept that most people know, but even if you do, there's some ways to make it even better. But let's break it down. The way Hector's been teaching this to Zot is simple. Always be thinking about the next relevant minion. In this example from a VOD review, we've got Zot on Corki. So what should he be noticing here? Well, if we take a look at the enemy wave, all the minions are still pretty healthy. That means Zot shouldn't need to focus on last hitting for the next few seconds. So instead, his attention should now shift to his own minions. And right here, we can see the middle caster minion is the lowest on HP, which means Lucian's probably about to go for the last hit. That makes this the next relevant minion. And because Zot hasn't been paying attention to this whatsoever up to this point, Lucian walks up and gets the minion uncontested. When instead, what should happen is both Zot and even Milio auto him in return, with Lucian having no way to trade back as his auto attack was already used. This right here is the absolute basics, and while it's definitely a skill that takes time to develop, there's a ton of depth to this concept. First of which is incorporating minion value. There's obviously 3 different kinds of minions in lane that all provide different amounts of gold. For example, it's a very easy choice to concede a caster minion if you know your opponents are going to punish you for it. But when it comes to cannons especially, players will focus so much on them that it becomes a huge opportunity to trade in lane.
No, 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 no. You're missing this timer. So
Yeah,
if you
the
look-
cannon.
Yeah. See how it's getting lower before yours? Timer.
Yeah.
Perfect. You know what you do? You hit
Contest
it.
it.
No, you hit it. So now, look, they're synced up.
Oh.
And now
yeah.
it's much more annoying
saw-
because now it's less obvious that you can punish. Yeah, see, you're so tunnel vision on the cannon, it's hard to...
I miss killing him.
Yeah, exactly. Really bad.
So what we saw Zot do there was make 2 separate mistakes. First, he didn't make it hard for the Smolder to get the cannon. Second, by hitting his own cannon, he made the mistake of syncing up the timers, meaning Smolder can very easily grab the cannon while Zot is getting his own. This goes all the way back to something we taught in episode 2. Always hit the wave with a purpose. But the way to overcome this and even cheat turns is by using abilities, as Hector explained.
Remember what I said about spells being able to cheat minion timings?
Yes.
Right now, these are both
He
the
wants
relevant minions. So you need to last hit this, and he can use that timing to get this one or something.
Yep.
You should be moving up. He has no spells right now. He just uses E. You should be moving up around here, auto-attacking this. And even though your auto-attack won't be on, like, it's going to be on cooldown, right? Your auto-attacks have cooldowns.
Yeah.
You will be in position here to Q him if he goes for this minion. You know, you just Q. So let's watch what happens. Because your auto is on cooldown, he gets this minion for free, but if he were here, he'd get Q'd in the face.
This not only allows you to cheat turns with an ability, but it also gives you a much higher chance at landing the ability and coming out ahead in the trade. And this is something that has helped Zot drastically, as when he's playing Corki especially. Prior to this, he would sort of just throw his Q whenever he thought it would land. But by waiting for your opponent to wind up their auto attack and be caught in the animation, it makes landing abilities almost guaranteed. This is a concept all top mid lane players abuse, but still applies to many ADCs. And while we're sure this is all basic stuff for most people watching, up to this point, Zot had never paid attention to his own minions. He's still got a long way to go, but just off the back of this, his laning is already improving. And if you're serious about your own climb, just like Zot, you don't have to do it alone. All the lessons, earpieces, and VOD reviews that have got Zot to almost diamond, you can get full access to all of it. Join the countless players climbing alongside Zot, transforming their gameplay today. Check the link in the description below to get started. Since that lesson, even after tilting all the way down to nearly Emerald 3, Zot's been clawing his way back up the ranks. And by some miracle, ended up right where he started, 1 game away from Diamond.
We are back in the exact same situation for round 2. But plot twist, I got my off roll, which is probably the second time this has ever happened. So yeah, win this and I get Diamond. Hopefully I don't choke. I'm not as nervous this time. I feel like I've been there once, so I know what to expect.
Thankfully though, somehow his ADC skills end up translating, and he ends up in an auto attack battle to the death.
What the f is that? Mid lane's OP. What just happened? I'm an ADC main. Well, there's auto attacks there. That's so funny.
And from here, uses that lead to even rotate to defend his jungler. Things started off amazingly.
My God. We're doing it, we're doing it, we're doing it.
And they only got better as he continued to roam around the map and make plays. He was an absolute monster, 8 kills and only a single death. But then he pressed tab, his bot lane 1-12, his jungler 3-6, and the enemy on soul point. And even despite his best attempts to defend and hold on as best he could, Zot sadly lost. So he queues up again, and even with his karma doing some questionable shenanigans, Zot was dominating lane. But even with Zot's words of encouragement in chat and the rest of his team trying their best, his Shen had already given up and decided to AFK and refused to play. Another brutal loss. Not one to tilt though. Zot knows he's got everything he needs to be diamond and it's only a matter of time. So he queues it up again. But unfortunately, it's the exact same Shen. And Zot, being a little rat, decides to poke the bear. So like any mentally stable League player, Shen teleports bot and runs it. And for the rest of the game, proceeds to follow Zot around. Doesn't take much guessing to predict how this one ended. Guess we'll be seeing you guys again next week. Thanks for watching, and be sure to drop a comment to cheer Zot up. He needs it about right now.